All right, guys. Well, with hurricanes hitting the the southern coast and wildfires hitting the west coast and New York flooding right now, I thought it might be a great time to talk about financial preparedness in the face of emergencies. And no, I'm not going to drone on and on about emergency funds. I've talked about it before. You guys should know by now that you should have an emergency fund. What I'm actually going to talk about, though, is a go bag, 72-hour kit, emergency kit, whatever you want to call that, and how that relates to your finances. You see, many things can force us from our homes. Some of the obvious natural disasters are the aforementioned hurricanes, floods, wildfires, tornadoes, earthquakes, these kind of things. But also some man-made disasters like chemical spills or house fires, apartment fires, industrial fires, those kind of things. Okay? They can wreak havoc on your finances. So your go bag should not only have food, water, first aid, and change of clothes in it, but it should also have some cold hard cash in there. Yes, some of that cash that I talk about keeping on hand in case of an emergency should be in your go bag. And not just big bills either. It should be some small bills, maybe even some actual change that jingles, because in a disaster, cards might not work. You still might need gas, hotels, food, things of that nature, but the card systems might be down. Case in point, when I was in Katrina, the card systems used phone lines and cable lines to work, so none of that was working, but if you had cash, you could still get a pizza. And that was right after Katrina came through when I was down there for the disaster relief. Yeah, our group took down stuff. We were planning on, cold camping and cooking over a campfire. And instead found that, hey, the Domino's was running as long as you had cash. So always something fun. But to continue on with that thought, not only should your go bag have those things, it should have important documents and phone and numbers in it as well. Some for instances are your homeowner's insurance, renter's insurance. You should have some information about that in your go bag or emergency kit. You should have your car insurance. Of course, you'll probably have that with you if you're in your car. Flood insurance, health, life insurance information. You should have these things with you as well, and they should be convenient and easy to grab. You're not going to be wanting to rummage through filing cabinets, desk drawers, dressers, anything like that in the face of an emergency. You'll also want digital records. And something people forget is, like, in the case of wildfires and whatnot, where your home could be destroyed, you ought to have a digital record, a video record on your phone, and you can email that to yourself so that you have a spare copy. Because, yeah, you're in the rush or whatever, your phone might get destroyed. Or in the case of a flood, you might have to wade through some water. Phone's in your pocket, boom, gone. But if you sent yourself an email of your possessions and whatnot, a lot easier to access that later. Some other items that might be in your emergency kit or go bag would be your birth certificate, marriage license, social security card, will, living will. You'll also want to have a listing of your creditors and number for your mortgage company. Again, if you've been in a flood, if your home's been destroyed, thanks to a tornado or whatever, you're going to want to give them a call as soon as possible and get them working on that claim so that you can start getting your life back together. So having that information handy. Maybe you could call your utility companies as well and let them know what's going on. Hey, I'm not even at home, so yeah, all that stuff, need to have that put on hold until I can get everything together and figure out how to move forward from here. So these are just some ideas, and as a final idea, I'm going to part with, speaking of phones, we have become so dependent on cell phones that nobody knows their kids' numbers, their friends' numbers, their families' numbers anymore. It's just option number 1, 2, and 3 on your cell phone, right? You don't even look at those things anymore. Having a hard copy written down in your go bag could prove quite useful. So that's parting wisdom, guys. If you've got something else that you want to share, please leave it for me in the comments below so that it can help others.